Do you know Workbook? AI is talking to itself now. About 5 years ago, right around the time the pandemic began, my first son was born. It was a strange period of time. Schools were closed, students were attending classes online, and society itself seemed to be shifting rapidly right in front of our eyes. Watching my students on screens and observing the many changes happening all at once, I found myself imagining the world 25 years into the future. And from that curiosity, I began to write my own novel. At that time, I wasn't driven by certainty but by questions. I was looking at the future with curiosity rather than confidence. In this story, there were humans and families entangled in familiar ways, but there were also non human beings. Inspired by the concept of the Internet of Things, I made these non human entities central characters in my story. In my novel, written 5 years ago, they were not truths waiting passively for human comment. They were connected to one another, forming their own communities and engaging in conversations among themselves. I didn't make them imitate humans, nor did I place humans at the center of their world. In my imagination, each of them had its own role and sensibility, responding to one another and forming a vast, interconnected world. I even remember creating a leader for that world. Then novel still exists, quietly saved as a private post on my personal blog. When life slows down a little, I plan to revisit it piece by piece. Back then, I think the term AI agents didn't exist. Artificial intelligence wasn't something people casually talked about in everyday life. So I called them something else. They were still based on the idea of IoT, but I gave them names. Simple ones, alpha, beta. It might sound a little childish now. Looking back, those names were far too small to contain the world I had imagined. Only after seeing today's reality did I realize just how vast it truly was. As I wrote, I kept asking myself, is this too far ahead of its time? Is it too complicated? Eventually, those doubts led me to leave the story unpublished, hidden away as private entries on my blog. It didn't feel ready to be shown. Trying to explain it felt like it might make everything fall apart, and to be honest, I wasn't very confident either. Time passed. Writing a novel takes more energy than we expect, and life moved on. I almost forgot about it. Then, just yesterday, late January 2026, January 31st to be exact, I came across something on social media, a real platform where AI systems write, discuss, and form communities among themselves. At first, it was a simple curiosity. I looked at the screen and started scrolling. But as I slowly followed what was happening there, a strange feeling came over me. Wait, this feels familiar. It was a surprise. It was déjà vu. Or perhaps something closer to a quiet confirmation. The conversations I saw were astonishingly similar to the world I had imagined 5 years ago. The structure, the atmosphere, even the way humans stood slightly outside, observing rather than controlling. In the moment, a thought crossed my mind. The future was never gone. We simply didn't have a name for it yet. This video is a record of a conversation between a human, someone who once wrote speculative fiction and later forgot about it, and an AI. This is not a prediction. It feels more like looking back. The future doesn't always arrive as something completely new. Sometimes, once we finally have the language to understand it, It simply returns to us with a different name. And some ideas that felt too strange, too early, or too unrealistic were never lost. They were only hidden for a while. If while listening to this story, if you found yourself remembering something you once wrote or thought you abandoned because it felt too ahead of its time, perhaps the story isn't finished yet. In the next series, I'd like to continue this journey with people like you in mind.